these are the hackathon winners for Build 2013. Right now we have the Windows Phone the team that won. So these guys built applications from file new in 50 hours. They started off at day 0. They started at 7 p.m., made a brand new team, literally created the idea, started building it, and then at 6 p.m. yesterday, we actually judged, every Build attendee got to judge the applications, and now here are the winners. So for Windows Phone, can you tell me your team name and your members?
Hi, so our team here, I am Lance McCarthy, and the name of the team is the G Ambassadors. So the G Ambassadors are consisted of me and
Paras Wadehra.
And Jan Hannemann.
Awesome. So your app is Windows Phone, and it looks like you have a cool little toy there that, if memory serves, that's a NetDuino.
It sure is. It's a NetDuino Plus 2.
Okay, so because it's a piece of hardware, I'm assuming you're talking to it through Bluetooth?
Absolutely. So the NetDuino has the .NET micro framework on it, which has serial ports. It allows me to plug in a Bluetooth module, which lets me communicate to anything that accepts a Bluetooth signal.
Okay, so to me that looks like a force sensor, so explain your app.
So the NetDuino has a resistive force sensor attached to it. It detects how hard something is being pressed against it. So I take this signal and I then convert it into a Bluetooth signal. Over the Bluetooth to the Windows Phone app, which I have here in front of me. The Windows Phone app then takes this signal, shows you a little bit in the UI, and then it moves on up to Azure. So here's Jan on the Azure part.
So yeah, Lance started coding on the NetDuino part, and I said, what can we do with those data? So I looked into Azure Mobile Service, so first time like 2 days ago, and I created a service where we could push the sensor data and then have it stored in a SQL database to generate a leaderboard, a global leaderboard. Yeah, and then we started off and created a Windows 8 app, and Paras worked on that one.
Yeah, so we take the data from the Azure Mobile Services SQL Cloud and pull it down into the Windows 8 app. The Windows 8 app refines the data, shows you the top 10 leaderboard kind of things, who hit the hardest. And then we also show the last person who hit it, how hard they hit it with a score, and like a curve chart of all their pressure points they hit when they hit the NetDuino board. So you will see that Jean here just hit it, and we saw the last curve, like what the pressure points are.
So when you guys were actually showing this app to the attendees last night, it actually broke because someone hit it so hard. That cracked me up beyond belief. So
yes, so it happened after massive abuse from a lot of Build attendees. We started to think of ways to fix it. I took a walk down to Radio Shack and I got some liquid wire, which it's liquid, dries up and turns into a wire, so we were able to fix it in time for the show.
Oh, awesome.
So actually, if we have the display up on camera, I can hit it and you'll see that value came in. And these are values that are being sent immediately up to Azure into the leaderboard.
So last night, we actually had a 3D printed board on top of this sensor, that people were hitting. So that kind of the sharp corner of the 3D printed board cut this wire. But basically, the end goal would be to have this kind of boxed up, this all nitty-gritty, the wires are hidden from the end user, and we could place this in a thing like, place as a bar. And there are people who are drinking, and this is a game. Let's see who can hit this hardest.
I guarantee you, myself and Dan Fernandez will figure a way out to game the system and be like #1 across the board.
Well, we'll see.
So, what were some of the challenges that you guys faced doing this in such a short period of time?
Time, the #1. But what we did was we took our strengths and decided on who would be able to build a certain part with the least amount of errors in the shortest amount of time. So there's always going to be errors. You have to plan for it. So what I did, I'm familiar with the NetDuino and the C# that are there, and I was able to do that very quickly. So that was done first. And I did most of this stuff on the phone before Jan took over. So as each step happened, we were able to verify that it worked up to that point.
Okay.
So by following that, we got a lot of work done in a short amount of time, and therefore cutting through those challenges.
Awesome. How did you guys deal with source control? because there's multiple people here, and it's typically just you're not the only person doing stuff.
Yep.
So
It's on my TFS server.
okay.
So
Like
using
personal, or
Visual
did you
Studio.
use hosted?
It's hosted with VisualStudio.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, awesome. You guys checking bugs against one another?
We didn't have many.
Right. So, like, what kind of controls did you use? Like that? Did you guys actually build the controls there, or did you use a third-party control library?
Excellent question. So we got this very good-looking UI on the Windows 8 client and the Windows Phone client with the Telerik controls. So in here we have a Telerik gauge,
Okay.
which allows me to set up a couple different indicators. So if you see it, you'll see a bar and an arrow indicator.
Yeah.
And a little bit of coloring. That very quick, like 15 minutes I had that one.
Awesome.
The Windows 8 one was done. Here. Explain how
Yeah.
that works.
So Windows 8 is also a Telerik chart control that shows the pressure points in the chart. And it's just a regular grid on the left side which shows the leaderboard. And Telerik has such great controls. It was just simply put it on the page and pass it some data points, and it just
Awesome.
displays the chart. We didn't have to actually
Yeah.
hard code the chart or code the chart anywhere.
So actually, one interesting, cool thing that the Windows Phone team actually did was they actually gave us all Nokia 925s to hand out to every first, second, and third place winner. So I just like to say thank you to the Windows Phone team and Nokia for that.
Thank you.
Like, other than building this, like the circuit board, were you guys afraid like that was going to break? Like, what were your pain points there? Because
was
that
pretty
looks like a lot of
confident with that.
wires.
Yeah. So the shield that's on top of the actual Arduino is made to be played with like this. It's designed for it.
So it's a prototype shield.
Yes. So the prototype shield with the breadboard on it
Okay.
allows me to do all this crazy stuff and not worry about it. However, the sensor was not meant for this kind of abuse. So we found that one out the hard way.
So in fact, even yesterday afternoon, like 1 p.m., we went to Radio Shack, got a better sensor just to plug it in and see if that works and gives us some more pressure sensitivity.
Okay.
And got that.
So I'm looking at this really quick. So you have the force sensor. The board to the right, I believe, is the Bluetooth.
Correct.
And then what is oh, that's a battery pack.
battery, yeah.
Battery pack. Tricky.
What also difficult was to figure out the scaling of the pressure. So this thing is maxing out very quickly, so we had to put in some resistors, and then we also calibrated our 3D printed pad, and we had to do some math in a Windows Phone app to pre-process the raw values to get a nice leaderboard. So it's not easy to max it out. So people at the demonstrations, they had to really hit too hard.
So you guys are using .NET Micro Framework,
Yeah.
Windows, WinRT, WinPhone, and Azure. Are you guys using like portable class libraries? How are you guys dealing with all the code sharing? Are you actually, or is each one individually the same, like different projects?
Yeah, basically
Power
we have.
flags?
Yeah, we have the Windows 8 project and the Windows Phone project, and we use code sharing feature. So basically linking the source code files,
Okay.
and then we have conditional compiling enabled, so we can reuse our math classes for smoothing out the data, to calibrating the data.
Okay.
We can share a lot of code.
So I know from personal experience that with .NET Micro Framework, you have to, since it's such an extreme subset, like
Yeah.
how I had to do major changes in certain blocks of code. Did you guys encounter that as well, or no?
Yeah, but basically we just have all the math behind. That was pretty code from scratch, so we don't use much of the APIs and interfaces we need. So that was an easy point.
So, gentlemen, great job. We're going to bring up the Windows Azure winners. So I'd like to personally thank you.
Thank you, Clint.
Thank you.